I often say to kids who are interested in being writers, even if you've only been walking around here on the planet for 10 or 12 years, you have a lot of experiences already. You've met hundreds, if not thousands, of people. Things have been funny, happy, sad, and you have this whole range of experiences. All these things play into what I think are interesting things to write about. Years and years and years ago, my wife and I were living in a very old house that was built in the 1860s, and I was taking wallpaper off of the wall. I was going to put new paper back on, and when I scraped down to the bare plaster, on the plaster someone had written, "This wall was papered by John so-and-so in the year 1846 or 1865 or whatever it was." It was interesting to think that somebody had kind of left that more than 100 years before for me to find. If I had not had that experience, I think, of scraping off that wallpaper and discovering something left behind by someone who had been there more than 100 years before, I don't think I would have come up with the idea for this series. The story for Benjamin Pratt and the Keepers of the School revolves around this very old school in a town that has a lot of history right on the coast, and a building that was turned into a school in the 1790s. And the main character, Benjamin Pratt, finds himself drawn into a battle going on between the past and the future. I get a lot of letters, mostly from kids. A lot of times I'll get letters where the kids say, "Can we be pen pals?" And teachers sometimes give this assignment too, find a pen pal. Well, that sparked an idea for this book, Extra Credit. One of the characters in the story is a girl who is told that she might be left back, and they list a bunch of things that she will have to do in order to be promoted to the next grade. And among them, she has to begin a pen pal correspondence with someone in a different part of the world. And the girl chooses to write to someone in Afghanistan, so really almost half of the action takes place in Afghanistan, which led me to do quite a bit of research. I was trying to get to the point where someone living in Afghanistan today would read the book and say, yes, this is true. This is the way it feels, living in my village, living in my part of the world. And like many of my other novels, this book primarily is a story about kids and teachers and schools and families. Although you may think that the world has changed so much since I grew up, and you say, gee, it's so different for kids now. When I go to visit a school, I walk into that school and I feel exactly like myself when I was in 3rd grade walking into school. The kids are the same. The kinds of sound you hear on the playground, the kinds of play, the kinds of stuff on bulletin boards. In a sense, I think that childhood itself is something of a constant. School remains the same. So in writing about things that I think are going to be interesting to kids, I can get in touch with what I can recall from my own childhood experiences and write authentically about that.